How you doing? My name is Peter.
I'm Lori, and we're with Heroes Character Rental Service here with our latest review. And
it's Pet Sematary.
Sematary. Yes, the latest adaptation of Stephen King's classic novel. And I will say, I've never read the book. I didn't see the original movie because I am not a horror movie fan. So I'm going in this only by the previews.
Okay. Now, I read the book.
Yes.
I went from...
You love the book.
I love the book.
Yeah.
And I went from reading it day to night to no longer reading it after 5 p.m.
Okay.
when it looks like it was going to start to get dark, to not reading it in the morning, only read it from, I think it was like 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock, and then that was it.
Yeah.
Because that book scared the crap out of me.
Okay. It just got progressively scarier and scarier.
And Stephen King is one, he likes to be very detailed when he writes.
Well, his movies his books seem to be very difficult. There haven't been too many successful film adaptations of his books, it seems. There's been some, like Shawshank Redemption.
Yes.
Stand By Me was a huge
And Shawshank
success.
Redemption was a short story.
Carrie was one of his. Was Carrie one of his?
Yes.
Yeah, Carrie is one of his books. So
Christine.
some classics. Christine, well, is that a successful film adaptation now?
I thought so.
You thought so. Okay. Now, did you see the original Pet Sematary movie as well?
I did.
Okay.
And I thought it was good.
You thought it was good?
It could have been better. There was, when after Gage was killed and brought back, well, it's not in this movie. Well, anyway.
Spoilers.
When they had Gage in the house, they had the technology to do things better, but what they did is they had the kid act everything.
Okay.
And it was
That has a hard role because that character is a pretty young age to find an actor who could pull it off.
Right.
Unless you're getting a tiny person to do it.
Right.
You know. So going by only seeing the previews, I think I would have been this movie would have been more effective on me if I had only seen the first set of previews they had released. Now, just about a week or so before the Pet Sematary came out, they did another set of previews, and seeing those, I thought it revealed way too much. I'm like, okay, that preview is scary, but now that I've seen it, it's not going to scare me in the movie. And that's pretty much what happened for me.
Well, for me, when you start to show, and I was really looking forward to this.
Yeah, I was too, and I'm not a horror fan, but I was kind of like, this should be interesting.
Yes. But when, and for any movie, if they show a lot, in the previews, it's because they want to get a lot of people there that first week because the movie is terrible.
Okay.
And they know it. To the point that they showed so much in the previews, they showed you the twist.
Yeah, they did.
And I was like,
I was like, okay, and which is really unfortunate because I didn't know anything about this story going in. So if I wouldn't have seen that part of the movie, it would have been totally different experience for me. So I thought this movie was bland. I thought it was just something just bland, and I think there's a problem too because we saw Us a week ago where you had this interesting family. They built the interesting character. They built them. The family they were interesting characters. Right. They had interesting relationship dynamics. You got into them. You got connected to them. Where this movie, the family, I'm bland white people. I'm supposed to be interested in bland white people. I'm sorry.
There's no seasoning.
There is no seasoning. No. There is no salt. There is no seasoning salt.
No.
There's no barbecue sauce.
They boiled everything in water.
Yes,
and,
they did.
And everything that was good was left in the pot.
Well, there were some good things. It was just like I couldn't connect to I wasn't interested in the characters. I wasn't interested. I mean, you have John Lithgow in the movie. He's a great actor, and he was good in this. But the other thing is the movie was short. I was surprised when I was like, oh, it's over already? And it's like, wow, they could have put 10, 15, 20 more minutes just to build the characters, build the character relationships, and I would have cared more, even with seeing some of the previews, the second set of previews revealing more.
Well, for me, what happened was they got the title of the movie from the book, and they said, we're better writers than Stephen King.
They can do horror better than Stephen King.
You know, I know what I'm going to do. Instead of the suspense and the story being scary or even compelling.
Yeah.
They just said, boo.
Yeah, they tried to do a lot of jump scares.
Yeah,
the music bugged me, and I've been going around reading people's reactions to the movie and like, oh, the music score was great, and I was like, the music score uses this one thing that's been a lot of movies lately have been doing this kind of sound effect that everybody seems to be doing now, and it's now become such a cliche. They had this intense, scary movies, like the scary music all through building up the earliest scenes, like, oh, this is going to be a scary movie. It's going to be it just kept doing that before even the scary parts got there. It's like, stop trying to build this up, and just I want to be engaged with the characters. I don't want you to like try to predict if this is scary movie. This music is going to be scary. Well, if that makes sense. Yeah.
To me, and they've showed this in the preview, so it's not a. I'm not revealing anything, but the procession that the kids were going on, leading to the pet cemetery, and they're going
the kids in the creepy mask, which I thought was going to play a bigger role in it.
Yeah, and it was just like, well, kids don't act like that.
No, they don't.
And turning around, it's like, that mask ain't that creepy. Well, really, it's kind of like, it's kind of creepy.
It's kind of cartoonish, but
kid,
bizarre.
Put this bizarre-looking mask.
See, I thought, looking at that at the previews, I thought, I can see it if there was something about that area that made the people a little weird, and the kids were a little weird. I thought that movie that's where the story was going. Because I had no idea what the story was going to be about. So, and that just kind of, that had nothing really to do with anything except and even the cemetery, because the story is about something else, basically a whole other part of the forest and not the actual cemetery. But anyway, so, and should we tell about, you see it in the film about the little girl, or, you said they changed.
You know what? Yeah. They changed the book.
Yeah.
They changed the first movie.
Yeah. So which character is affected by the evilness, so to speak.
Right.
And I will give the credit to the little girl, the actress.
Yes.
She was fantastic.
Yeah.
She played creepy. Man, she was, I have to look up her name, but she was fantastic in the role. I'm sorry, it wasn't a better movie for her to be fantastic in. And
the thing is, I think you and I were both kind of like, while she was in the beginning of the movie, we're kind of both, I know I was going, why'd they put her in the movie?
In the beginning, she was like I said, everybody was generic and bland to me. But
and I think that's why I couldn't just sit there and just get myself immersed into the movie. And I'm watching it. I'm in it. I'm there. Right. It never did that to me.
She's supposed to build this relationship with I can't think, John Lithgow's character, and there wasn't enough time to see some kind of they'd had some kind of affinity for each other, and like this kind of like grandfatherly, granddaughterly affection and things for it to be effective later. And it was.
And the thing is, I like him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
No matter what you give him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be it drama, horror, comedy, no matter what, he can do it.
Yeah.
So for them to put him in this movie and then say, you have no lines, or
it's like you really
your lines are very bland.
He did as much as he can with what he was given, or there were some scenes that just weren't included, or something that just So that was it. They could have taken more time to like build everything, the relationships up, so you cared about the people. So when things turned on them, you not only were scared. You were, your heart broken by it.
Right.
So now the ending is a twist and different from the book, as you told me. And to me, that was the only interesting part of the film. I was like, oh, okay, I've never seen a horror movie do that. Not that I'm a horror expert, but I was like, okay, that was interesting and different.
Right. And I think had the movie been more interesting, had they told the story about the mother's sister.
Okay. Yeah.
Had they told the story about the husband and his relationship with the father-in-law.
They didn't tell anything about that.
Nothing. And the thing is, there is a lot of why things happen in those stories. Because it tells you of relationships and personalities.
Yes.
And they just said, oh, wow, it's a generator. I wonder what that does for the car. I don't know. It's like, know.
Yeah, and I'm for one, I look for, and with movies, I look for psychological motivations or overarching themes or something like a filmmaker is trying to say, or even a writer is trying to say, and the filmmakers weren't interesting in any of that. You mentioned something after the movie. You mentioned some things that were in the book. I was like, wow, that would have been interesting to see. There's this Native American component, and mentioned, I studied a little bit of folklore, and they mentioned a Wendigo. I'm like, oh, okay. I kind of am familiar what a Wendigo is, and it was just kind of in passing.
Yes.
And I was like, and when you told me from the book what that part of the story was, I was like, that would have made a way more interesting movie if that hadn't been included.
And
lots of things would have been.
And I know it could have been in the movie because it was in the first movie. So
the first movie managed to get in. Maybe I have to check out the first one.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, and I think, that's about all I can think of. I was not a fan of Pet Sematary. I think you can pass on it. If you haven't seen the previews, there's a good chance you'll enjoy this. It'll be a good scare for you. If you're not familiar with the source material, you'll answer it. For me, it's like, if you're looking for a scary movie, don't see the previews. Just go see it. I think it'll be effective for you. But otherwise, I'm like, don't bother.
You know what I'm going to say? Yeah, if you haven't seen the previews, if you haven't read the book, go see it. See how it works out for you.
Let us know. Write in the comments what you think about it.
And maybe go on $5 Tuesday or whatever.
$5 Tuesday. You want to wait for Netflix.
Yeah.
Or wait for Netflix or I'd say wait for Netflix.
Because don't give this director your money, please.
It's two guys. It was a directing team.
Oh really? Oh, it's a team.
Yeah.
Oh, so they tag team that bad.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, well, hey, you never know what kind of notes the studio gave them to say.
Yeah, and you know what? There might have a fantastic movie someplace on the floor.
There could be. I don't know. I don't get that. I just think I'd like to think that, but for some reason I doubt it this time.
The best scare was the truck.
Yeah, that was the most. That made me jump.
And the cat was creepy as hell.
Yeah,
but they even changed the truck from the the truck was better in the
original movie.
In the in the preview.
Okay.
Or in the trailer than it was in the movie. It's just like
yeah, just nothing added up for me. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's Pet Cemetery. If you go see it, let us know. Like I said, let us know what you think of it in the comments. And we out.
Yeah, we're out because it's a 0.